Are you 50 and you've been dreaming of solo traveling? Let me just tell you that is the best thing that never happened to me. But you are like me traveling as a budget traveler, as a backpacker, but you worried about where to stay because we know that the flight and the accommodation is what costs the most when we travel. What if I tell you that hostels might be the perfect option for you? Not just for budget travelers, but for women like us who are, seeking safety when we travel, community, and adventure. Trust me, you are not too old to stay in a hostel. It's actually one of my best adventure ever, one of my best experience every time I've stayed in the hostel. Before I go further, if you're new on the channel, please subscribe and like the video, leave me a comment and tell me all about your hostel experiences. I want to give you 5 reasons why hostels are perfect for us women over 50. All these 5 points work together. I would advise you to listen to all 5 tips to have the best experience when you are traveling solo and staying at a hostel. And more importantly, if you're traveling solo for the first time, because we know that it can be nerves wracking, although it's the best experience ever. Traveling solo can be expensive. We know that often, traveling package are done for 2 people. So when you travel solo, you have to, bear the cost all by yourself. This is where hostels can be an amazing opportunity to save money. And whether you take a dorm or a private room, there's something for everyone when you stay at a hostel. And what I did love about hostels, I was scared to stay at a hostel. I will link one of the video where I went to the hostel after many years as a 50 years old, and I was afraid to be the oldest person there and to feel uncomfortable because there's a lot of teenagers and young people. But hostels are really for everyone. It's a great way to have that sense of community when you're traveling solo and you might feel homesick or might feel lonely, because you are in a foreign country. At a hostel, you can really have both. What you will get at hostels is community, okay? It's meeting other travelers, and there's people of all age, guys. I was afraid to be the oldest person there because I was 50 the last time that I went at a hostel, and I was so embarrassed, but there were so many women over 50, 70, right? Hostels today have private rooms. So if you don't want to be in a dorm, you can be with, you can have your private room. But don't feel that it's only for young people, because today you will find family, you will find a lot of mature people there and women of your age. And it's a great way to make friends on the road. It's a great way to have partners to go into, activities, and you don't have to be alone because you're traveling solo. You actually get opportunity to meet so many people, to have the people in the hostel will be able to guide you for activity, and you will find body to go do things maybe that you don't want to do by yourself. And when you choose to be alone, you also have that option. So it's really the best of both worlds. And as I was saying earlier, today's in hostels, you have those private rooms with private bathrooms. There's some hostels that have a private room only without a private bathroom, which is a little bit cheaper. And it might be a little bit more expensive than sleeping in a dorm, but definitely cheaper than a hotel or Airbnb. And it often comes with a free breakfast as a bonus, which is excellent. And on the top of that, You also have those walking tours. No, I mean, the hostel has so many activities, guys. You know, they have a Tuesday disco, this and that. And there's even food, you know, where everybody brings some food and share together. It's a great, great community to stay at the hostel. If you're tight on a budget and you cannot take a private room, which happened to me when I went to South Africa, Namibia and Zambia. In Zambia, actually, at some point I took a private room because I needed some personal time. I would pick a dorm, a women-only dorm, because a few hostels do not offer women-only. So if you're not comfortable sharing a dorm with men, take a women-only. And you also have the option to pick rooms that are with a fewer beds, like from 4 to 6, which I did in Namibia. I took a 4-bed dorm and it's quieter, and we were even lucky that the first night we were only 2 there. So there's options to have like a house with a kitchen, with, you know, space to read, a computer. You're actually in a house, so you're not just like in a hotel inside your room. You have a lot of space to move around, a garden, a pool. Choose some of the hostel where there's a lot more than the room, right? Where there's a lot more that they give as activities and amenities. Now, if you want to make your stay more enjoyable and stress-free, here are a few tips that you want to keep in mind before you go to a hostel. So tip number 1, guys, and it's extremely important, is check for hostels that have a higher rate in cleanliness and in safety. These 2 points for me are non-negotiable. I need a place that is clean. Some hostel may not be, and also which has a higher safety rate, meaning that, you know, there's a door that's shut, you know, there's people guarding the place, and it's in a safe area. Number 2 is the packing essentials, guys. Okay, when you go into a hostel, there's a few things that you need to take with you to make sure that you have the best experience ever. These are very small items, guys, but which will make a huge difference for your stay. You do need a padlock because they give you those lockers where you can, you know, keep your things in. When I was in South Africa, I had the key on my neck. I see if I can find a picture, and I would store my things there when I was not in the room. Earplugs, if you're sensitive to noise, because in hostels people come and go. There's a lot of young people as well, and anyone really goes to party, come back at night. If you have a sensitive sleep and you wake up with noise, have some earplugs. It will help you to sleep better. The other things that you want to get as well is an eye mask, because it can help you to cut the light, as there's a few people when you are in a dorm who comes and go during the night. People might put light on while you're sleeping. At least if you have an eye mask, it will keep the light away from you and, you know, allow you to continue to sleep with your earplug and your eye mask. And one of the most important items, okay, that you need to have, you never forget, is your flip-flops, because your flip-flops is your best friend. To go shower, it's a shared shower usually, so you don't want to go there barefoot, okay? No matter how clean the place is, you want to have your flip-flop. Your flip-flop are also your shoes to walk all around the place, and if they have a pool, to go by the pool. The flip-flop are just an amazing small item. It's cheap. If you forgot them, you can buy flip-flops everywhere. So flip-flop are a must, guys. These aren't a lot of items, but I think these are the most 4 important things that you must have if you want to have a good time and be stress-free at a hostel. Friends, don't be shy and join the social side of hostels. Guys, I'm an introvert, meaning that I need some time for myself. When I needed that time, I would go and retreat in the room. Most people at hostels aren't in their room. They're outside doing a lot of things. Hostels has a lot of events, dinner night, game night, whatever. You don't have to join to all of them, but join to a few of them and you will have great fun. I had so much fun with my friend playing games at hostels, and I met so many great people, and it just made the time enjoyable. And again, don't be worried that you're a 50 plus woman. There's a lot of 50 plus people at hostels, 70 plus. There's people older than you. So don't be worried that you be the oldest one. And even when you are, it's still fun. This time the group that I was traveling with, I was the oldest, I was 50. The one that was coming just after me was 34. Can you see the gap? Still, we had such a great time together. The thing is, when you are at hostel or traveling, you click with some people to have buddies to travel and do activities together. It's okay. You will not feel out of place. And I thought so. I was crying like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna be so old. No, you're not. You'll be surprised how comfortable it is to stay at a hostel. It's not just for young people, not anymore anyway. And it also is cost effective because you do share taxis or Uber to go to places. When you go to activities, you are not by yourself if you don't want to. And it makes solo traveling a lot more enjoyable as well. Right? You don't have to be alone if you don't want to be alone, right? And there's a lot of working tools. A lot of hostels will offer working tools. If you fit, and you can follow a group, join the working tool because it's really fun. I'm not that fit, but I was able to, take a working tool and follow up with the whole group because there's all age. Nobody's running. They're really taking the time to admire. There's a lot of stops, be able to listen about the story of the place, and at the end we can tip the guide. It's free, but everybody's free if they want or not to tip the guide. It's a great way to explore the city. Right, one of the most important thing, guys, okay, that you need to keep in mind if you go in a hostel is to be open-minded. Remember that hostels attract a mix of people. So stay open-minded. It's extremely important. When you go to a place like hostels, you'll have all sorts of people there. Be open-minded and accept that diversity is what you're going to find in a hostel. You will hear stories, you will see things, right? Like young people making up on a bed or whatever. It's all part of the experience. If you can't tolerate that, then hostels aren't for you, or take a private room if you can afford it. I remember the last time I was in a hostel, not the last time, but in South Africa, there was a young, wonderful lady. She was 23 and she has just quit medicine to go travel the world. And she met a boyfriend at a hostel in South Africa. And now they were both traveling in some remote part of South Africa to look and teach English to some kids that were not speaking English in a village. You will find so many different interesting stories at the hostel. I met a German guy who sold everything, bought a 4x4 and was traveling Africa with his 4x4. These are the stories that you will hear. I met so many different people. Guys, the next video I do is meeting friends on the road, making friends on the road when you travel. So my fellow Gen Xers, ladies over 50, if you would like to travel solo, but you are a budget traveler, please don't fear hostels. It's a great way to travel. It's a way to build community. It's a way to meet amazing people along the road. Guys, I met such amazing people. I met a woman that was living, she left Russia because of the war happening there, and she was traveling for 2 years, and she left with very little money. She said something like $100. And then she has a following in Instagram. So a fan was helping her to find a way. You will find crazy, amazing story, crazy, amazing people when you travel in a hostel. So honestly, if you are afraid, please don't let the fear hold you back, because you're missing out. Being in the hostel, it's not what we think it's only for young people. It's for everybody today. And if I can do that, I'm 51, you can too. Guys, if you enjoyed this video so far, please like the video, subscribe and share. Let's continue that conversation in the comments.